Hi everyone, I am Arun. Welcome to Frivolous Guys. Today we are going to talk about, do you need to upgrade your iPhone to the latest iPhones? So before we start, this video is for people who already has an existing iPhone and are considering an upgrade to the latest iPhones. But this video is not for people who have an Android phone and are considering switching from Android to iOS, which is a completely different topic. So today, before we get on more to the video, let's say for people who doesn't know about what are the iPhones that's available, I'm just going to give a quick introduction to them. And Apple released 4 iPhones this year, and they are the iPhone mini, 13 mini, which is the smallest form factor phone. So if you want the smallest phone, you should get the iPhone 13 mini. Then you have the iPhone 13 and the 13 Pro, which comes with a form factor of 6.1 inch. And then there is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which has the largest screen size. So if you're someone who likes the largest screen size on a phone, then the 13 Pro Max is the only way you can get them. And they are super expensive because they are the highest they are the priciest option that the iPhone has, and it seems like if you want a max model, then it is better for you to actually wait next year, because people are saying that iPhone is going to have a non-Pro model with the max size. Now, there are some differences between the Pro and the normal 13 phones, and they are like the Pro has an additional camera as well as they have the high refresh rate. Then there is kind of like ProRes video, which is kind of high resolution video that they say that the cinematographers take, so it's not something that most people would be worried about. And yes, let's start. So why should one upgrade? There are several factors that one should upgrade from his or her old phone to the new phone. So we will actually go through some of them and try to see if you are someone who is due for an update. Now, if you are in possession of an iPhone X or above, then most likely you wouldn't need an upgrade, because the iPhone 13 already has the same design as the iPhone X and above. The only difference in design is the size of the camera has increased, and also the notch that is there in the front has reduced a bit in size. But other than that, it looks the same, and that's why you can see that there's like a lot of meme going around saying that the iPhones look the same, like 3 or 4 year different iPhones all look the same. But you should seriously consider an upgrade if you're having an iPhone 6s, 7 or 8. And that's why this video is more intended for those kind of people. Now, I am someone who was using an iPhone 6s till now, and I upgraded to the iPhone 13 Pro, and I'm going to share the reasons why I upgraded my phone and what are the factors that made me upgrade. Let's start. So the first reason and the main reason for me to upgrade my iPhone 6s was the battery. Now, my battery life was so poor on the 6s that I just really got annoyed with it. I used to charge them thrice a day, and I had to plan before I leave my house, because I have to look at my phone and then make sure that the phone has enough juice so that I can receive calls while I'm outside. And that was it was becoming really nuisance for me. The part of the reason why I hold up on my upgrade was I'm someone who have started working from home because of this pandemic, and so I rarely go outside of home. The only time I go is go to the gym or buy some groceries and stuffs, and then go out for some enjoyment. But this is nothing compared to how I previously was before the COVID, because now I had to travel to the office every single day, which is something that I avoid right now. So yes, definitely the battery is a big problem with the old iPhones. They definitely have the smaller battery, and also all the new applications that you install in your iPhone are like heavy applications, which means they use a lot of memory, a lot of processing, and it turns out that it drains the battery pretty quickly. And the battery that I had on the 6s was not the original battery. I did a battery replacement. When you remember, the Apple whole battery gate incident happened, I actually went and changed the battery on my phones because it was 80% and it was not doing well, and the new battery also has become worse. So that was the primary reason for me to update the phone. The second reason for most of them is going to be that the processor. Now, the latest iPhones pack a punch when it comes to processor. You can play sort of high quality games that looks and feels really good, but the old iPhones was limited. The processors was start to aging, because now when you're clicking the applications are really slow. You feel that it's not the effect that you get on an application was not the same anymore. You feel it's a laggy, it's a bit not buggy, I should say. It's not buggy, but you definitely get the feeling that you have an outdated phone with you, because the memory, the processing, and the hard disk were all like very less. Then the one thing to say is the latest iPhones start with 128 gigs of storage, which is an upgrade from 64 gigs that the iPhones had even in their last version. So that's a very welcome change that the Apple has done. So that's something that you have to consider, because most of the time people who end up buying an iPhones end up buying the low tier memory versions of the iPhone, right? Because iPhones are already expensive, and if you go with the 512 GB versions, you will end up paying more money. And the latest iPhones also comes with 1 terabyte, but that's actually going to make the price well close to like $1,500 US, which is ridiculously expensive, which is in the range of, like, you can buy washing machines, you can buy TVs, you can change your refrigerator and so on, right? So these are like really expensive phones. The third reason would be the update, iOS update. So the old phones have stopped receiving the iOS update because the old phones now cannot have this iOS and the latest features that it uses, because it requires a lot of processing. So the old phones 6, 7, 8 I think doesn't receive updates anymore, and it is a big bummer, because you know, right, like all the security patches and all the latest functionalities that you might be wanting from Apple, but Apple has provided them, will not be available to you because now you cannot go for the latest update. So that is like a third reason that I would say is, yes, it lacks the latest processors. The fourth reason would be that this has to be talked about. It's the camera. So most of us right now update a phone not because of calling someone, right? That is like, yes, it's a primary thing of a phone, but most of the people now, because of social media, makes use of camera more often than we would like, right? Why I said more often than we like, usually I'm someone who doesn't take a photo when I go outside, but now these phone cameras are damn good that you feel like, oh, let's see how this camera takes it, right? Because it has all this computational photography that makes it look damn good. Like whatever angle, however you take, it tries to make the photo really good. So yes, the 6S, 7 and 8 has a good camera. I'm not saying that it's bad. If you are using a 6S camera and take a photo, it will give you a nice photo. But it's just when you start comparing the 6S photo with the latest iPhones, you feel that, wow, you have an outdated phone and this camera is not even good enough. Like that photo looks like from an 80s. So that's the change that the camera has undergone for most of the top tier phones now. That is like, the camera is the area where all these phones are making rapid improvements, because they have understood now that phone has like dual purpose. Mostly people are looking for a better camera phones. That's why at once Pixel was like at the head, because they used to give great computational photographies, and they actually changed how photos were done in the camera, in the phones. So kudos to Google in that regard, because of Google, Samsung and Apple had to update their games. So yes, definitely once you start using the latest phone's camera, you cannot go back and you will understand what you have missed. One of the other reasons would be the screen. All the new iPhones come with OLED screens, and OLEDs cannot be compared to LCDs when it comes to quality. It's just otherworldly when it comes to OLED. You look into an OLED, the text is crispier, it's more accurate, color accurate, the quality that's reproduced through the colors, it's mind-blowing. So if you have a 6S side by side with the latest iPhones, you will see that it's totally different. The experience that you get from the modern iPhones is just extraordinary. It's the same for the latest flagship Android phones. I'm not saying that iPhone is the only phone that gives it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're someone who's updating from 6S, 7 and 8, you will see a lot of difference. The final reason for an upgrade, I would feel, is that shattered glass. I have seen so many people use their iPhones without protective covers because they don't want to lose the look of their phones, because yes, these covers add bulk to the phone, and I can understand why people don't like having covers around the phone, but these are like really expensive purchases. So if you want to use these phones for a long time, then covers is a must. I usually have protection for the phones as overall, then I have screen protection, then I have camera protection. So I have like 3 kinds of protections because I intend to use my phone for a long time. These are not phones that are meant to be updated every 1 or 2 years, because these are expensive. If you start updating these phones every 1-2 years, you will remain poor, right? Or else you have a bucket loads of cash wherein you don't care, you just want the latest technology. And there goes my last, is why should upgrade is you have lots of money and you want the latest, and you have to stay with the latest, not because you care about how the camera enhancements are or how the phone enhancements. It's just that you need the latest phones, and no matter what. So these are the conditions that I feel that it proves that you have to update your phone. But otherwise, if you're feeling that you're okay with the cameras, you're not like a big camera guy, you use your phone mainly for making phone calls, WhatsApps or any other chat applications, and going through the web browsing, you would be good with your iPhone X, XX, 11, 12 and others, right? Because they do the job pretty well. There is no feel for a need for an update. But yes, definitely if you're using 6S, 7 and 8, you definitely will feel a huge difference in this upgrade, because these phones are really good. The example can be seen from the fact that I was an iPhone 6S user. I used to use it for less than 2 hours a day, because I know the choppy experience that I was going to get from my phone, so I stayed away from my phone. The only thing I used my phone was for phone calls. But ever since I got the latest phone, I've started experimenting more, like taking more photos, experiment with the new features that the phone has, try out drives, use the phone more for browsing, which I never used to do because it was like bad. And now the experience is good with the latest Safari that being updated, and everything is good about this phone if you're considering an upgrade, except for the price. But that's where the phones are heading, right? If you look into the top tier Android phones as well as the iPhones, they are all at the same price range. Previously we could say that the iPhone was the most expensive phone out there, but now there are phones like $2,000 Samsung phones, which is crazy to think of. But yeah, the better would be to hold off on your upgrade and use more out of your phone, and only upgrade if all the necessary things that I said is bothering you. Otherwise, you're good enough to keep your existing iPhones. There's no need to update an iPhone unless you want the best camera out there in an iPhone. I won't say that's the best camera out there. For I think Samsung and Google does a good job. I have never compared them with side by side, but hope this video helps you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and see you guys later.